In this video, I will show you how to match a graph like this with its cosine equation. So these are all cosines, so that is a clue that we need to use to our advantage. So before we do anything else, we need to start by thinking about what the typical cosine function looks like, the parent function, if you will. So a normal cosine function has a high of 1 and a low of -1, and it starts at the high point and it passes through the midline to its low point, back through the midline and back up to the high point. So this is what one cycle of y equals cosine x will look like. So let's see how this graph compares to the parent function. So actually, I think our best bet is to graph each of these one by one and just see if they match. So the only difference between this first option and the parent function is that the first option has this x plus pi over 2. This is a phase shift. All right, having a plus pi over 2 is called a phase shift. And plus is actually to the left. So this is going to be left pi over 2. So let's draw the parent function superimposed on this graph, and then so we can play with it. So remember, the parent function has a length of 2 pi and starts at 1. So it's going to go from here and it's going to go through the midline and it's going to fall to its low and back to the midline and it's going to end up at its high. All right, so it's a little skinny to draw. It's a little tricky, but so don't laugh at me. But it's like this is the idea. All right, so that is what the parent function would look like on this grid. So this equation is just like the parent function, except for it has this phase shift left pi over 2. Each one of these squares is pi, has a width of pi. So if I go left pi over 2, that's left half a square. So imagine that I just take this picture and I move it left half a square. All right, if this is the answer, this should be matching the picture perfectly, but it doesn't. So I'm going to put this back and we've eliminated, whoa, okay, that wasn't cool. We've eliminated one of the answers. Now, this one has a phase shift of left 2 pi. Okay, left 2 pi. Remember, each space is pi. So when it says left 2 pi, that means left 2 spaces. So let's do that. 1, 2. So if this were the answer, this would match perfectly. And it does not. So I'm going to put that back where it came from. And I'm going to eliminate the answer. Is it going to jump on me like it did before? All right, I guess it's just going to jump every time. That's going to get really annoying. Anyway, the next one has a plus pi over 3. That is left pi over 3. That's left 1/3 of a pi. Okay, so that's going to be left 1/3 of a square. So I'm just moving it over a tiny bit. If this was the answer, this would match the graph perfectly. And it does not. So this is going to be the answer. This is not going to be the answer. The only one left is cosine of x plus pi. And this is going to be left pi. It's the only one I have, so I hope this is the answer. Left pi means I'm going to move this left 1 space. And if I move this left 1 space, oh look, it matches the graph. So that confirms that this is in fact the answer. Let's check it out. Boom! We got it.